Jim, congratulations. How important 3 points was that going into the break?
I think the result today was more important than the performance, albeit I thought the performance in the first 45 minutes was very, very good. Dominated large periods of the possession, had one or two decent chances, and I think that chance just on half time where Duke anticipates the centre back of Dundee United leaving that ball, and he's very unlucky with the lob that he attempts. If that goes in at 2-0, then obviously it's a far more comfortable situation. But it was very similar, I think, to how the Hibs game panned out in terms of getting our noses in front and then second half managing the game. And for all of the possession that we were willing to give up at the back for Dundee United, I can't remember Kel Roos having too many saves to make. He tips one over the bar, I think, which is quite comfortable. United had one good chance where young Levitt put a great ball into the back post and Fletcher put it wide, fortunately enough for us. But all in all, I'm extremely pleased with the end result.
Because a lot of the plaudits for your side have gone towards the attacking play, but when you were having to absorb that pressure, how pleasing is it that the likes of Ross McCrory and Anthony Stewart stepped up and kept that clean sheet?
Well, I think the back lads have been, coming in for some criticism, especially on the road, lack of clean sheets, lack of defending our box at times, looking vulnerable from set plays. But I didn't see any of that today. We spoke long and hard during the week about getting back to being hard to beat, and first and foremost you've got to keep clean sheets, and that was what we tried to build on tonight. And we're sitting in a great position now going into the World Cup break. I think before a league fixture had been played, if you had told us that we would be sitting third in the table with a League Cup semi-final to look forward to in January, I think we'd have all snapped the hand off you for that.
I guess it's a game that, when it comes down to moments of quality, the link-up between your front two and Bojan Miovski and Duke, that was probably the difference between the two teams.
Yeah, possibly. I mean, I thought it was one of their quieter nights, if I'm being honest. I think the last week has been very demanding for both of those two in particular, and I thought they looked a little bit tired and a little bit lethargic at times, albeit Duke does great. The goal is a fantastic counter-attack, the penalty, really good link up with Bojan and Duke again. Duke gets a great touch on the ball, obviously the keeper wipes him out, and I thought Miovski showed great courage and great character to step up after his last couple of penalties. So yeah, delighted with the way that he dispatched that. Duke should probably score on half time. We have had a couple of good chances second half as well, one off the line, which we're all desperate for it to go in, because as I said, it would have been a far more relaxing evening. But we had to dig deep, and I think the team showed different characteristics tonight than what we've maybe showed in recent games. We've been scoring goals for fun at home in the league this season, but tonight was just one of those games where we had to dig in, we had to grind out the result, and the boys done that. Dundee United, I know their position in the table would suggest that they're not a very good team, but they are, believe me. They've got some really good technical players in the middle of the pitch, and they've got a very experienced number 9 as well. So the plaudits of late have been going to the strikers because we've been outscoring teams at home. But I think tonight, the back three in particular deserve a huge amount of credit for the way that they managed the game.
Does that build up a belief, particularly with the games the first two that will come back after the break?
Well, yes, absolutely. We've got Celtic and Rangers back to back, and then a difficult away trip to St Mirren, who are absolutely flying at the moment themselves. Another good result for them today. So look, there's no easy games. It doesn't matter who you're playing. I know people might look at the fixture on paper and think, us against Dundee United at home, it should be comfortable, but we know that's not going to be the case. You see all the results today: Livingston going to Hearts and nearly winning, Kilmarnock beating Hibs. So you can't underestimate any of the opposition. We're still very much a work in progress. Still a very relatively new team, young team. There's going to be inconsistencies there, but I think, as I said after the Livingston game, we have to work harder to keep those clean sheets, and our record of clean sheets on the road in the last 3 seasons hasn't been particularly great. So that's something that we are desperate to put right, because our home form, as I've said, is excellent. I think that's 6 wins out of 7 at home, and yeah, we're in a good place, as I said.
Well done, Jim. Thanks for your time.
Thanks, Rory. Thank you. Thanks.